The Lux Radio Theater brings you Carole Lombard and Bob Hope in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille. Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. This evening's class will study a simple equation. Bob Hope plus Carole Lombard equals a riot. And this particular riot is called Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I've been connected with the theater most of my life, and that's been long enough to bar me from the draft. I've seen many a bright star rise, but I've never seen more comedy stars than we have today, nor a time when they were more needed. Two top ones are here tonight, and they'll do their best to help us keep our national equilibrium by completely upsetting it for the next hour. The play is the story of a young married couple who suddenly discover, to their own amazement, that they aren't legally married. Carole Lombard and Bob Hope carry on from there, with Carole in the same part she played in the RKO picture, and Bob Hope as her lawyer husband. Personally, I'd like to have the right to sell tickets in any courtroom where Bob pleaded a case. Curtain going up. When the David Smiths took each other for better for worse, they agreed to live by a set of rules. Rule 4, Subdivision A, was by far the most radical.
I, Anne.
And I, David, do solemnly promise that we shall never leave a room after a quarrel until such quarrel is over and has been settled to the satisfaction of...
Me, Anne.
And me, David. Hallelujah.
In 3 years of married life, Rule number 4, Subdivision A, has been called into operation at least once every week. In fact, it's in operation right now.
Mr. Smith, breakfast, sir. Breakfast, Mrs. Smith.
Lily, what are they doing now?
I don't know, but they ain't opening the door.
Look through the keyhole.
She's under the bedclothes, and he's playing cards.
Still? That's what they were doing last night.
They've been in 3 days already. How much longer are they going to keep this up?
They went 8 days once.
Martha, he's coming toward the door.
Get away from there, quick.
I'm way ahead of you. David! David, come back, David!
Yes, Anne?
Oh, darling, I thought I was afraid you...
You thought I'd left without making up, huh?
Oh, yes. Oh, hold me close. Closer, David.
Closer? Honey, this is David, not Goliath. Say, what would you have done if I'd really gone out that door?
I don't know.
Leave me?
Mm-hmm.
Forever?
Mm-hmm.
For all eternity?
Uh-huh.
Even till they stop playing Amapola?
Uh-huh. Oh, David, as long as we live, we'll never change rule number 4.
Never.
You know, if every married couple have it, there'd never be a divorce. They ought to put it in a marriage certificate. By the way, where is our marriage certificate?
Oh, I'm using it for a bookmark. I don't want to lose my place in Esquire.
David, remember that 8-day session?
Uh-huh.
And the 6?
There were 2 6s.
2?
Yeah, one Christmas week and the other after the Yale game. We got home and the football game started all over again.
That was really 5.5 days. We start in the afternoon.
And now how about breakfast, madam?
Oh, kiss me first. All right, darling, breakfast. We've got respect for each other as persons. That's our big trick.
Yep.
Man and woman, all right, but person to person, that's important in marriage, too. You know, I think we'd be friends if we were both men or women, don't you?
Oh, sure.
Respect for each other as individual, that's what counts in marriage. And always to tell the truth, no matter what the consequences. You know, if we told each other just one lie, we'd have to admit we failed, wouldn't we, David? And what would we have left? Oh, a marriage like other people's. Doubt, distrust, going on with each other because it's the easiest way. Oh, no, not for us. Not after what we've had. You know, David, it was all my fault.
Oh, no, Anna, it was mine.
My fault, dear. A wife should conduct herself to please her husband. That's one of the rules I'm going to make.
Another one?
David, what's today's date?
Well, I'd better be running along, honey. The office must be loaded with...
David, it's the 15th. Remember rule number 7?
Anne, I think we ought to give that one up. We always get into arguments.
Well, if we ever give one up, that means we're giving up just that much of our wonderful relationship that we're letting down. You wouldn't want me to feel that, would you?
Yeah, but those questions you ask every month, like what I did that trip in Paris when I graduated from college. I was only 21, and I really thought I was buying a postcard.
I forgave you for that.
Oh, well, darling, I've got to get to the office.
Well, only one question today, dear.
Now I know what happens to the quiz kids when they grow up.
David, tell me, if you had to do it all over again, would you have married me?
Honestly, no.
What?
Oh, not that I'd want to marry anyone else, but a man gives up so much when he's married. Privacy and independence and Earl Carols. No, I think if I had to do it over again, I'd stay single.
Oh.
Now, honey, you wanted me to tell you the truth because we have respect for each other. We talk to each other honestly. Your feelings aren't hurt now, are they?
Oh, no, it's perfectly all right, perfectly.
I knew it. That's the last of those questions. They're always getting us in trouble.
Well, I'm not angry in the least.
Yes, you are. You don't understand what I mean.
David, if you want your freedom, I don't want to be the kind of a wife who clings to her husband when she's not wanted.
For heaven's sakes, I do want to stay married to you. I love you. I'm crazy about you. I'm used to you. How do we get into these things anyway?
Well, if my only hold on you is that you're used to me.
Honey, darling, you've got the whole thing wrong. You're my little girl. I'm crazy about you. Don't cry, baby. Don't cry. Oh, Snooks, look. Give Dream Boy a little kiss.
Oh. All right, Dream Boy.
And now, is everything all right?
Yes, Dream Boy, everything.
Is this as sickening to you as it is to me? Oh, no, honey, stop. I didn't mean to stop, darling. Don't cry. Before the government builds a dam around you, stop, please. Say you forgive me. Say it.
All right. I forgive you.
Fine. Can I go to work now?
Uh-huh.
Oh, goodbye, sweet. I'll come home early, and I mean early.
Morning, Mr. Smith.
Morning.
Good morning, David.
Oh, good morning, Jeff.
Well, it's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, about 4 Band-Aids ago.
I was beginning to think I didn't have a partner anymore at all.
Well, you know how Ann is. You have to humor in those things.
You don't have to apologize to me, David. I envy you from the bottom of my heart. I wish I was in your shoes.
Yeah, she's a good kid.
Mr. Smith,
Yes?
there's a Mr. Deaver been waiting to see you. He won't tell me his business. He says it's something private.
Oh, send him in.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll leave you to your miseries, David. Lunch at the club if you can make it.
Oh, fine. I'll try, Jeff.
Mr. Deaver, sir.
Oh, Mr. Deaver, how do you do?
How do you do?
Oh, won't you sit down? Well, what is it?
Mr. Smith, were you married in Beecham in March 1938?
Why, yes, I was.
Well, you know, Beecham is on the other side of the river, and it was always incorporated in Brenner County. And you see, Brenner County is in Idaho. You follow me, don't you?
Well, more or less, but to be on the safe side, maybe you'd better drop pebbles.
Well, we in Beecham found out we didn't have the right to be incorporated in Brenner County because from the other side of the Bass River, well, we belong in Nevada.
Well, it sounds like a good idea. Taking Brenner County out of Idaho leaves more room to grow potatoes.
This is serious, Mr. Smith. You see, we just found out that anybody who got married between 1936 and now with an license in Nevada, well, it isn't legal.
Oh, well, what do you mean it isn't legal?
Now, I don't want you to get frightened or upset or anything. There's been kind of a mistake. You're not legally married.
What's that? You mean my wife ain't my... Or I ain't? Or we... You mean I'm draft bait?
Oh, you really are married and everything, but there's a little technicality.
Little, he says. It's a good thing I don't have a couple of little technicalities running around the house. Well, go on.
You're a lawyer, Mr. Smith. You know everything's perfectly all right, common law and everything. But we figured it'd be better if everybody kind of got married again just to be on the safe side.
Yeah?
And the Chamber of Commerce is sending me around to everybody to tell them. And we give you your $2 back, and you can use it to get another license. Here's your $2, Mr. Smith.
Okay, and will the Chamber of Commerce take over the payments on the ring?
Well, I'll be going now, Mr. Smith. Oh, say, that picture there, is that your wife?
Uh-huh.
She's a striking woman.
You can say that again, brother.
Say, wasn't she Annie Krausheimer?
Annie Krausheimer. She lived right across from Beecham. That's how we came to be married there. Did you know her?
Did I know her? I guess she's changed some, huh?
Yes, she's changed a little.
Yeah, she once chased a dog catcher half a mile with a baseball bat.
Well, she hasn't changed as much as you think.
Well, goodbye, Mr. Smith. Tell her I asked after her, will you? Old Harry Deaver. She'll remember me.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, hello, Miss Ames. Will you call my home, please? Ask the maid if I can please speak to Miss Annie Krausheimer.
You're sure everything's all right now, Anne?
Oh, Mother, it's wonderful. David called me just a little while ago. He wants to have dinner with him tonight.
Well, that sounds good.
And do you know where, Mother? Mama Lucy's. I didn't think he even remembered the name of the place. Why, we haven't been there since before we were married.
That sounds even better.
Oh, don't worry, Mother. You know what? All the time he was talking to me on the telephone, he kept calling me Miss Krausheimer. The fool.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes, Lily.
Mr. Harry Deaver is here. He says you remember him from across the river in Beecham.
Oh, Harry Deaver.
Bertha Deaver's brother. We'll show him in, Lily.
Yes, ma'am. Come in, please, sir.